If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is the motto for one of my favorite builders in the Houston Metro, Highland Homes. And you guys absolutely feel the same, because whenever y'all see this model, y'all simp out just like I do. Today, we have a brand new 216 plan in the booming Fulshear community of Cross Creek West. They have a brand new model home park that no one has shown you on YouTube yet, so you are going to be the first to see these brand new homes that they are just opening up. We're going to talk about taxes again, availability, size, offerings, pricing, all the stuff, you name it, you're going to hear about it here today. If that sounds good, stay tuned. All right, so up first we have card carrying holding member Highland Homes, simping out for Highland like I do. But y'all tend to love this plan as well. So when I saw that it was the model of the new phase, I was like, let's go see what they decided to put into this one. And the vibes are still vibing, y'all. Per usual, still beautiful. Oof. All right. So getting into it, we hop into this nice size office. You got the double door setting. This plan is around 3,000 square feet. I think it maxes out somewhere between 31 and 33, depending on the width of the lots that you have in that neighborhood. This is going to be one of the narrower neighborhoods that you will see this plan in. This is a 60-foot product over here. Whereas in my neighborhood of Meridiana, for example, you can get this as a 65-foot. So there'll be some elements that you can get that are a little bit wider. But still, just doing that elegant glam, soft touches, nice curvatures. It's always been a beautiful plan to me. Got your little linen closet because you're in Texas and you need that storage. Tall ceilings, tall windows. Just the vibes, man, just the vibes. This one's gonna be dialed up a little bit. Now, I will say that one of the reasons why I absolutely love Highland, and this is as someone that, again, owns a Highland home, that bought in inventory, that even in inventory, these are gonna be some of the prettiest inventory homes that you get, because their sales teams and their design teams just pick really good things to go into a inventory home, so you don't feel like you're getting super gypped. Now, are they gonna have the upgraded black windows that cost a lot of money? Absolutely. Are they gonna have the 8-foot doors that is an upgrade? Absolutely. Are they gonna have all these trims and things to fool you? Absolutely. Are they gonna have wide plank wood floors? Absolutely. Now, in inventory, will you have all of that? Maybe not, right? There is an element of cost savings that they're gonna have and show for an inventory home. They already know that they're probably gonna have to reduce that price. So are they gonna go super all out? No. But will you have a slider? Yes. Will you have nice flooring? Yes. Will you have nice countertops, cabinets, all those things? Yes. But there's gonna be some things that they're not gonna go overboard on, because they know that they're already gonna have to reduce the price, all right? And that's the benefit of going inventory, is that you can get an upgraded home basically for the free ski. Most times you're gonna get these inventory deals where you're basically getting free upgrades on a base plan, not including lot, not including any of the cosmetic changes that they've done or any of the structural changes like sliders that they've done. You're basically gonna get that for free, just because we have so much inventory and the prices are being reduced crazy, especially at this time of year, okay? We'll get back into that as we keep deep diving this house, but good size. And I actually like that they chose this kind of a couch, because it actually shows that this room isn't as small as it may appear on paper, right? This isn't the hugest one-story home that we've shown. I feel like I've shown even some like almost 5,000 square foot one-story homes from another builder that we'll go and check out here today. But this isn't a super huge one-story. But I feel like with what they chose in here really just showcases that this is a much bigger space than maybe it would look on paper. Beautiful. elegant little corridor. We'll get to that in a second. Let's slide on in here. We got more storage. Because it's Texas, you need your storage. Cute little bedroom with its own ensuite. We love that. One of the things that I tend to notice in inventories of Highland is that they often will give most of the bedrooms their own ensuite. Now, the moment I say that, they're probably going to make me look crazy for saying that in here. For those of y'all that are new to the channel, I look at this live with you. I don't come in here and preview it, so you can get my raw reaction of how I feel about how something is laid out or decisions that they made. I like to give that to you unfiltered. But usually on an inventory home, you can say like Westin Homes, typically Perry Homes, they'll typically do a lot of Jack and Jills. And what I'll say is that Highland usually spends a little bit more money up front to give their end buyers that versatility of everyone basically having an ensuite. And this is just a beautiful scan to me. Oh my goodness. Real life, if they did the flex room back there, if you have the flex room, this is to me, this is me talking. Let me get in here. To me, this house with the flex is like the perfect home for me because it's multiple chef's kisses. Gives you all the spaces, gives you the office, gives you the media space, gives you the 4 bedrooms, gives you sight lines for days, especially if they're doing all the sliders and all this. If they're doing all this, this is a hard plan to beat for someone that loves a 1-story. Now, there are builders that will do certain things that maybe feel wider, like Perry's gonna be hard to beat on corridors and some closets and some spaces just because Perry's been doing big 1-stories for forever, right? I would say when it comes to 2 stories that Highland has them beat, in my opinion, for the same square footage. But on a 1-story, it's kind of hard to beat. But this one just does something to me, and it always has. I love this huge big double island kind of vibe in here. I love how this kitchen wraps. I love how it just looks, and I always have. And most of y'all that have bought 1-stories from Highland tend to buy this plan. And I understand why. I simp out and I'm jealous. Every time I'm in your house, I'm jealous. But look at just how beautiful this just frames for the people that want the fireplace. I know we only gonna need it 3 nights a year, but if you want it, you can have it. And then if you just got the bread to make this a full, basically, window wall, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it if you got it now. And then this is a great show of what a premium lot would look like, right? So you got no back neighbors, oversized yard. So if you wanted to have that pool, although this is a big old house, 3,000 square feet, and it's taking up a lot of your yard, you're gonna have really nice side yard pockets where you could still have this patio be a part of your pool area. And then you have 2 sitting, eating areas outdoor. This is like a really great indoor, outdoor vibe for them on a 1-story plan. One of their best, man. I'm a huge fan if you can't tell. If I ain't told you yet. I felt like I said that 30 times already that this is my favorite 1-story from them. But yeah, tons of room to do whatever you want to do. Putting greens, pools, jumps, whatever you want to do, you can do it out here because you would have the space, even on a house that is this big and it feels like it's eating up most of your lot. You'll have that space. Now, if you were to get this on inventory, which is going to be the best deal, what you're going to see on inventory is that you're not going to have so much yard. In all of the plans for all of the builders, even on the tightest yard, you can get some size of a pool in there, in that space, right? What you'll probably be left with though is one of those little decorative little small kind of rectangular kind of cute pools. Not really it's a pool, but it ain't really like a huge, you know, lap pool that you'll want to just be in, throwing a pool party. You ain't doing that. You'll have something for you, but it won't be huge on an inventory lot. And that's just because you're going to be basically boxed in between your neighbors, and depending on what's behind you, you may not have the depth to kind of do what you want to do. So it is something to keep in mind. For the savings that you would get on an inventory home, it may be worth trying to catch an inventory home that is on an oversized lot, which they try to avoid doing because they know that they can make the most money from the sale of that oversized lot. But on the instances that it does happen, that's going to be the best bang for your buck of going inventory on an oversized lot. Okay, just the vibes, man. All right, let's get back in here. We got more house to discover. Oh, just coming into, look at the vibes, my goodness. All right, so we'll swoop through the kitchen. And we'll show the primary, and then we'll talk about pricing and all of that stuff. So we got the pantry going over here. So they did the lifestyle to put the laundry up in here, make this oversized laundry room. Now I have seen this as a gym. I've seen this as like an extra kind of play area. So when it's not done this way, then laundry is normally in this room, but then that would normally make this a smaller pantry, which just depending on what your needs are, this may or may not be the best situation, but I would almost always do something in this flex space. But now you're giving up your third car garage. So that would kind of force you to make this the perfect house to me. To make this the perfect house, it would need to be on an oversized lot where I could get a 3-car wide garage up front and still convert that room. That would be perfection to me, because I wouldn't have to give up a spot. If you're getting a house that is this size, it is typically, well, I take that back. For the people that have been buying this, playing the most, they've kind of been at that phase where they don't have kids that are at that age where they're young and active and they need playrooms and all this stuff. So that 3rd-car garage isn't really a problem unless they have a lot of toys, cars, mopeds, and golf carts and things like that. For the average person, you're probably going to want to have that 3rd-car bay. But for most of my people, it's been working out just because, again, they're at that phase of life where they don't really need that extra space. But yeah, beautiful. That's just something that would make it perfect for us. And this would be your normal little mud area. Check that out, and then that would be your garage back there. So you would still walk through that space to get through here. That's the back side of your closet. We'll see that when we go around. We have a little guest bath, so people don't have to go into anyone's bedroom to use the bathroom. Tall ceilings, again, not the hugest room, but it feels grand with tall windows, tall ceilings, really tall doors, tall baseboard. All these touches just make it feel really, really grand. And so far, it's like everybody has their own stuff so far. Beautiful. So we had the 1, 2. Hold on, let me count this. Am I tripping? Did I miss a bedroom? Can't be, not in here. All right, so we have the 1 with the bath, office, media, another bedroom. Okay, yeah, that's the 4. Thought I was tripping, y'all. And so we'll go now and check out the primary. A little bit more storage before you get into the primary. And then if you're building it, gotta do the bump out. Do it. It's a must. This is a nice size room without it, but with it, it's just, you can do this. You can just change the whole ambiance of what the space feels like when you bump it out. I will say that in inventory, I would say 95% of the inventory homes that I've seen and sold with them have that bump out already. So that's usually not an ad that you would have to think about if you're going the inventory route. But if you are building it, definitely do it. Coming to the primary. Beautiful. Got the peekaboo shower. You don't have peekaboo second story, but you got the peekaboo shower. They're looking at you, you looking at them, and everybody's good, man. Lots of counter space. Got a make ready station over here. Really, really nice. And then you come into a pretty good size closet. Now, I will say that there are going to be builders that give you a bigger space in the closet, give you just a bigger house overall. On a one-story, Perry has 50 plans that are this size or bigger, right? So if that's what you want, and that's a conversation, yes. But in my opinion, from a prettiness factor, an inventory of a Perry and an inventory of a Highland, they're not gonna be close, in my opinion. And I would think that most of my clients that end up building, here's the gotcha. Most of my clients that end up building seem to go on a big one story like this, seem to go with Perry because they have more plans that kind of do things to give them the spaces that they want a little bit more thought out to their needs, right? So they usually build that. But if they're going inventory, it's gonna be hard to pass up a house that looks very similar to this. Now, minus the trim, it's gonna be very hard to pass up on a house that has the sliders, that has the outdoor patio, that has all the stuff that you want, and pass this up to go into a Perry, in my opinion. And I love Perry, but their inventory just doesn't do it quite like this would do it on the inventory. Now, this one's all up, but you get it. Y'all been here long enough. Y'all know the vibes. I've shown y'all the inventories. Y'all know. But yeah, this is beautiful. Let me go now and tell y'all kind of the size range of what we got here. Highland here only has a 60-foot product. So that's gonna run you basically some of the other heavy hitters on the channel. So like the 213, 215, 216 is what we're in right now. And then you're gonna bump up to the 2-story plans that you guys know and love on the channel. And it looks like you can get a 222 and a 224 here, right? So you're gonna be in the price range of mid fives for a 213. For a 216, this one you'll be at around 615. And then when you step up to the 222 that y'all love, that's gonna be 660. And then hopping on up to the 224 that y'all really love, is gonna be 676. Gorgeous. Right now, in terms of incentives, they have $75K that they're offering. That is basically flex cash that you can use however you want to use that right now. So that could be a combination of closing costs, design center, money towards interest rates, however you want to use that. That's how you can use it. It's your prerogative. I will say that, come in here and let me whisper to you real quick. I will say that on my last 3 builds with them, I've been able to get more than that. So definitely hit me up if you're interested in the build. But if you are more interested in a super deal, then that is going to be inventory all the way. I don't think they had any 216s in inventory. Actually, let me see before I tell you that. The list was kind of small as far as what they had inventory wise, but let me see. They usually have one of the models. Okay, they do. So they have one at 625. So again, if you're telling me that you can get a plan that is 615 base, put it on a lot, pick the things that they're gonna pick and only spend $10,000, I would tell you that that is a crazy deal, because I've been fortunate enough to have clients build dozens of Highland homes at this point, and they done spent way over $10,000 for the lot and for the cosmetics. Okay, so that is a win for the day, and that's a great way to start off the video. But we got more to see. All right, so that was Highland. Love them. In addition to the $75K that they're offering, that I could probably get you a little bit more on, they are also offering on inventory deals a lower interest rate than the market right now. So they're doing a little bit of a buy down, where you'll have like the first year at 3.99, and then the next years through 30 are going to be a 4.99. So that's also one of the benefits of going inventory, is that you're often going to have builders like Highland that understand that the interest rates are higher than they've been since COVID. And so although they are coming down, that interest rate of a 4 in front of it looks a lot better than one with a 5 in front of it. And if they're going to prepay for that, what is known as a forward commitment on your behalf, that's a win for you in this market, and definitely something that you're going to want to take heed of if you're looking at inventory homes. The first question I would ask is, are you doing some kind of a forward commitment to bring down that interest rate? And if they aren't, then you definitely want to probably broaden your search to get to someone that is going to get you a lower payment in today's climate. But right now we have a few more of you guys' favorite builders that it's time to go and see if we can check them out. I just saw a couple people going there, so I might have to dodge a few of them or skip back and forth between the houses. But let's see what we can go and put our eyes on right now, and let me know what you think. All right, up next we have Westin Homes, and they actually have a plan that I have never seen before. It's called the Wilson plan, and it is a 55-foot product that is 3,800 square feet.
Good, because Dominique's over there. She's the sales manager.
This is just gorgeous. All right, so we'll kind of do a quick little scan, and then we'll retrace our steps. Got a couple other people doing content here today. We'll let them do their thing. Yeah, I'm gonna say out the gate, this is feeling baby Carter-ish to me, but in a good way, All right, so now that they stepped out of the way, let's backtrack a little bit and check it out. So out the gate, we have an office. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We have a beautiful little bedroom tucked off back here. I like that. Nice size closet. Full bath. Just kind of taking it all in, man. I like how this is setting up. So in the Carter, you have that bedroom behind the office that goes down a little hallway, so you don't quite have that width on this plan. We got more storage. But this one feels every bit of being able to be 60 foot wide. This just feels way bigger than something in the 50s. And as it's normally a 3-car tandem on this plan, which is a plus. Good deal, man. And you come in here and it's doing that Westin thing that y'all love, man. I love the finishes that they pick. These are gorgeous. Waterfalled now. I ain't never seen, I won't say never, 1 out of 10 times will you have the waterfalled on an inventory. So this is a little bit dialed up, but how I look at Westin in today's market is a little bit different than some of the other luxury builders here. Catch me. There we go. So how I look at Westin in the market now is more of they are a baseline for what you want that house to look like, and they are often priced away in a way that makes the most sense. So yes, it's going to be a big project, but if you built something that was this big with, let's say, Highland that we just left, you would probably spend more to build that one ground up and customize it to get this square footage. Now we'll go and check out the pricing on the way out just to verify that, but what the price trend typically is that this is usually so much lower that even if you said, you know what, I don't quite love these floors and I have to do 2,000 square foot of floor on the first level, that the pricing is going to be so good because the price is so low out the gate. Okay, so we'll verify that. That is usually the standard. This one again is like 3,800 square feet. I don't think I showed you the pantry on this one, so let's do that before we head outside. Good size pantry, man, for 55 footer. Just doing the stuff. So this back patio kind of reminds me of I believe it's the Cooper plan, where they kind of have it framed in and it's a little mini 2-story. Now on this one, you got to do a pergola on this one. You gotta bump this one out because that's just not enough. It does look like they did gas, so man, I would do probably a little pergola to go this whole little front right here, just to give you a little bit more breathing room off of that glass. I kind of hate when they do this much lot, because I'll have the people come here and be like, oh yeah, man, I want that model on a lot that is that big, and this is a catfish lot. So I hate that builders kind of do this. But at some point in time, this would be a great home for somebody that gets them an old model home when they go up for sale, 3 or 4 years from now. That'll be something to look forward to, but most of the lots ain't gonna be like this, right? Now, she did kind of allude to the fact that they, in certain circumstances, might be able to build you something, but if it's like they're doing in Meridiana, it's where they were already gonna put, let's say they were already gonna put 1 or 2 plans on a lot. So let's say they were going in and they're like, oh, we wanna do the Carter plan or the Cooper plan here because it'll work. If you catch it early enough, you can say, hey, I want the Carter plan and I want this finished package, and it gets you closer to the look that you're going for without being forced to now come in and change out everything to get the look. So I think that's what she's going for. The actual sales counselor is out today, so I'll verify that with Dominique when she's back in. But I think that's what her sales associate was alluding to, is that they can build, but it's going to be a mostly inventory heavy neighborhood here like they were in the last phase. However, that's a good thing for you when it comes to pricing in today's market, because you're usually going to get a much better price per square foot. Okay, so back in to here, and just coming off that back patio and just doing the thing, man. Pretty standard at this point. So for the people that want that decorative look, is it putting off any heat? Nothing. This one actually looks like it does have the fans up top, so you could, but most of these are just for the prettiness vibes. You slide in here, and you got a really nice size room. Really good. So when she said that the square footage of this was 3,800, that is the same size as the 60-foot model Carter in my neighborhood of Meridiana, right? So I'm seeing some of the similarities of having like the 2 bedrooms down and an office, whereas on the 50-foot plan in my neighborhood that a lot of y'all love, the biggest gripe is that most of the plans that they offer in our 50-foot gated section of Meridiana only have 1 bedroom down. So they'll have 1 bedroom in an office, or the other plan that I saw had 2 bedrooms down, no office. And so it was for a house that is around that size, 3,000 square feet on the 50-foot section, to get this much square footage and see how they're using it. This looks and feels very similar to the Carter plan that a lot of y'all love and that y'all think about when you think about a Westin home. For all the model home tours that y'all have watched over these years, either on my channel or somewhere else, you think about the Carter plan most often because that's been the most used model in all of Houston. And this is like the same size as it on a more narrow footprint. So it's interesting to see how when I'm in certain spaces like this beautiful bathroom, how this feels like the exact same width as a wider model home. And it's still kind of doing some brain magic stuff to me to figure out, well, why is this being labeled as a 55-footer? Because it feels exactly like the 60-footer. Now, one of the things that I will say that I peeped, and this is just beautifully done. This looks really good. Loving the finishes on here, oh, man. So something that I peeped, a little angled toilet in there. Something that I peeped was that in a neighborhood like Sienna, around the corner from us, they were labeled as 45-footers, but they were also feeling wider than 45-footers. So I think that Westin is actually adopting a model where it's not necessarily the width and it connects to the laundry per usual, classic Westin stuff. I think they're actually going with the model of, hey, the developer says that on a 55-foot section, we can get up to 3,800 square feet. And they're just going with all the plans that align with that maximum number versus going with what other builders are doing, like a Highland, for example, where you know a 40 to a 45-foot plan is going to be an Everly. You can't get a Panamera plan. You can't get a Kingston. You can't get any of these other wider plans on something that narrow because they have a very specific narrow home site. It seems as though Westin has a lot of plans that kind of blur that line between being a 50, being a 60, being a 55, being a 65, that they can play with these really big models that do and have some overlap with their really big products. And I think that this one, hey, this one actually looks fire. I might have to tell my guy, Jerry, to bring over the Wilson plan to Meridiana, because this is gonna fire on their oversized lots. Now, you did lose that formal dining here. We're not really formal dining kind of people in my house, so this being tucked off in the corner would actually be perfect. But that is the only difference so far on this downstairs. Still got your spiral staircase. Still got the rotunda. And we got that peekaboo off the front. I'll let you see that. Got that peekaboo, the main peekaboo. And then we got this wing. Let's go on. Check this out. Great size. Good size furniture so you can see how big it is. Good deal. Jack and Jill, y'all know the vibes. For those of y'all that ain't new, I ain't cutting through. I'm walking around because I need them what? I need the minutes. So we can walk to the other sides, and this is about the same size as what we were just in. So another good size bedroom. Beloved down there yelling. So in this attic, you don't have room to really do anything. This is right off the door. There's not much you can do. Everything's kind of cutting through there. So that would be not much of an opportunity to do anything with that space. For those of y'all that have been following the channel long enough, y'all know that we did a attic conversion to a media space. for us. And so I've kind of had a little bit of an obsession with these these model homes and checking out their attic spaces to see if something could fit behind it. Has become a thing of mine. But yeah, back into it. Now, what I don't like about this, and that sometimes is developer driven. So because they are flirting with the lines of the plans that they're putting on this narrower footprint, sometimes the developer kind of hits them with, uh-oh, we got you. So it's just like, you can do that plan, but you can't have this space blacked out. It needs to have so many windows on the front facade. And so, although this is the media room, you would need to do something to black this out or tint this or do something to give the full ambiance, because the developer likely said on this floor plan for this elevation, I need 5 windows facing front. And so that's kind of a trade-off when you have these blended kind of layouts like this, whereas on a 60 or 65 foot, they would kind of be able to get away with this or have different designs that have the media room tucked on like the back of the house, so on and so forth. So that's some of the trade-off, but still, this is a really good size room. Tint that out, do what you gotta do. This would be the favorite kid, have their own ensuite. Really nice, man. I cannot complain. To me, this was a win. Beautiful home. Beautiful, beautiful home. Beautiful. Let's see what this closet looks like, and then we'll go downstairs and check out some pricing, man. Gorgeous. Okay. So that was the Wilson plan. My first time seeing it, 3 beds up, 2 beds down with an office and a media room. One of the quintessential 2-story family home builders is going to be Westin Homes. Let me see if we can get some pricing and kind of get away from a little boo over here. Little boo over there beefed out. Ooh, she beefed out. Oh. All right, so this is a Wilson, and so this is okay. Let's see. So Wilson as is. Okay, she misspoke a little bit. Not 38, but it does feel kind of big. This doesn't feel that much small. She actually yelling. So let me go outside. She yelling. Let me go outside. So she originally said that this was 3,800 square feet, and she misspoke, at least according to their sheets. According to their sheets, this is 3,400. But I'm gonna be very honest with you and say that this feels, I can tell you the spaces. It's a corridor that you lose going into that guest bedroom. It's a dining room that you are missing right there. Otherwise, this is the Carter plan, spatially. So this is actually, to me, this feels like this 3,400 is actually a lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. This feels like this is a lie. If it's not a lie, however, they have this listed as an inventory as low as 560 right now, okay? So if we put that into perspective, and even in my neighborhood of like Meridiana, if you were to get something that is around that square footage, you're definitely going to be approaching 6s, okay? So that's what I meant earlier when if you don't like what this looks like, just with the 50 to 60K head start that you have for a house that would be this size, if you were building it, you can renovate this and save more money, okay? But now that would take you needing to have the savings to do that, needing to have the foresight, needing to have the energy to want to play project manager. You got to do all those things. But to get a head start and not be financing some floors for 30 years when you're probably going to sell this house in 5 to 7, it would make more sense to get it after the fact and be able to negotiate with some contractors to get the work that you want at a price that you want, okay? So pricing is great. It's exactly what I expected. This one feels much bigger than 3,400 square feet. They really don't do huge inventory incentives. Like, you're not going to get the lower interest rate. They really do incentives on the actual price. It's kind of their game here. So you come in and you look at these price sheets and they're showing you, hey, we've already taken 70,000 off of this one. That's kind of the deal in the game that they play. But having said that, I've been able to get some more off of Westin Homes. So don't let that scare you. If we got a number in mind, let's shoot our shot and see what we can do, because this is the time of the year. But we got more to see. Up next, on the 55-foot section as well, so competing with the Westin that we just saw, we have a 3395 plan, and this exterior, Perry and Westin, they be coming with that exterior, man. Now Highland will do some beautiful things that I absolutely love with the peaks. Like, nobody has that peak game like Highland. Highland's gonna make you feel like a stereotypical cartoon house that you drew in the most elegant way with all the peaks. But the modern, contemporary kind of stone, stucco, brick vibe that Perry and Westin just give is just something that is just like, oh my, chef's kiss. All right, back to it. This is a 3395 plan. For those of y'all that are not familiar with Perry, the 3395 name also doubles as letting you know how much square footage this house is going to be, somewhere around that square footage. And so we come in here and you got the vibes that you get. Got a really nice size, really nice size office. And so it'll be interesting to see, now that we know that the other one is actually 3,400 square feet. That's the jury's still out on that. And this is about the same. See how they feel back to back. This will normally be your garage back here. First floor laundry. What is this coming off of? Ooh, coming off a closet, good, okay. So they did connect it. We love those vibes. This will be your mudroom off of your normal garage door right here. So let's just roll through, see what we see. Beautiful. This is a great size fill. I think personally, my eyes just naturally kind of feel the most comfortable in that like 55 to 60 foot wide product. I think just thinking about my little family unit, we don't really need much more now. Now, if you listen to the missus is gonna tell y'all that we getting the custom home next. And I'm gonna work hard enough to be able to do that, but I'm gonna try to bring her back down to a 55 footer. Don't tell her. 55, 60 footer. Don't tell her. All right. 65 foot max. That woman out there, she don't spend no money, but on a house, she would go crazy on a house. So like, don't tell her. Keep that between us. But like for most of my clients that move from other places, that are uprooting the lives that they once knew in a different city, most of them kind of land where my eye lands, which is kind of why I show the similar footprints over and over again, is because I want them to see what you could get in these different neighborhoods, right? And I think that 55 to 65 is like that sweet spot where you don't feel like it's crazy, but you got enough room to spread out. It's super affordable compared to some of the more expensive cities in the nation. And so you just get a lot of bang for your buck in that sweet spot, and it just seems to make most people happy. And so I'm a fan of showing stuff that makes my clients and future clients happy. So here we are. Now this one did give you a more formal dining. So okay, this is a better use of this space for those and people that want the more formal vibe tend to lean more Perry in my life, right? Those that are just like, I don't really use that, they usually lean like more Highland, okay? Or they'll lean more Newmark, so on and so forth. But my old heads, that old money, when you've been having money for a while, people that have been having money for a while, they be like, hey, run me that Perry, baby, because I want that dining room. We cut through, and then the Perry's doing the thing that they do, man. They give you these big, tall windows, 8-foot doors, standard, often operable cabinets. Let's see if they did it on the front. They did. Operable cabinets wrapped around. The width between the countertops in here, the cabinets in here, you feel that width. One of the things that Perry is probably the best at. Ooh, little jam switch. Okay, I saw you. You're fancy. You see I'm fancy? Yeah, jam switch. This is a 55-foot wide. We entered a 60-foot home, and this one is definitely 3 to 4 foot wider than that 60-foot home that we saw with Highland, right? They're some of the best at getting that space and making it just feel that much wider, that much taller. The artwork, the trim, the casing that you could do in here, the Christmas tree that you could put right there, like it's just, they just do some things as standards that other people just don't do. You can't replicate it, right? And if you're willing to go and spend a nice little chunk of change, some of the prettiest homes that I've ever seen built have been Perry's, and that's just because they have the gift and the curse of Perry. They're the most well-known, and so they garner one of the highest price per square foots. If you can catch an inventory deal, the best deals are usually from Perry because they've dropped them so low that oftentimes they're even under their base price once they get to a certain point of just sitting on the market. But the price per square foot on a build is just much higher for Perry just because they have that name recognition all over the state of Texas. And so you're gonna pay a pretty penny, but they give you a lot of stuff standard. If you want it to look super glam, high style, custom, you're gonna spend a lot of money because the stuff that just kind of gets really pretty is expensive. However, they do give you a lot of stuff at standard. Like this would look like an oversized patio to most. This is gonna be a standard patio. This oversized that we would have seen on the Highland would probably be $10,000, $15,000. This is a standard on a plan like this, and many of their plans have widths of patios that are this size. Okay, this is not an anomaly. So for people that say they like wide corridors, or they'll like the split closets in the primary, or they like these big patios, or they like the big 8-foot doors, there's certain things that just come as standards that Perry gives you out the gate for free. However, if you are kind of like my wife and you're just like not a huge fan of the floors, that's a lot of floor to already be at a higher price per square foot for this builder, right? So it's give and takes with everything. If you like the layout, I'm big on liking the layout and having a contractor come and make that thing yours after the fact. So I always lean more inventory. But if you got the bread and you know that you like this plan and you want to go all out, this is your dream home, it can be one of the prettiest homes that you've ever seen. Just got to put some money behind it, man. All right. Slide into this bedroom, really nice size. Nice windows. Really, really nice, really, really nice. Tons of room, you can put a couch in here too. All this stuff up top that's movie magic. Go ahead and ignore that. And we slide on through to the bathroom. Okay, so I do feel that this is a little bit smaller than what their 60 or 65 foot would normally be. Normally on a 60 or 65 foot, this would be centered in the middle. You would have 2 closets on either side, and you'd have like a little peekaboo window. So I do feel that this is a little bit tighter than norm, and compared to the 55 footer that we were just in with Westin, this is tighter. They do still give you 2 closets. This one's a little bit nicer and has the luggage Harry Potter underneath, which is dope. This one's a little bit tighter. So I do feel that you got some room in some other places, but you didn't quite get it in this particular layout of a bathroom. But maybe they make up for it with the upstairs. I know that there's I believe it's the 3295 plan that has one of my favorite 55 footers. I think that's the model in Sienna that I just love that upstairs. So let's go see what this one does, and if it gives me the same kind of feels. For the Peekaboo crew, shout out to y'all, still supporting the channel. Peekaboo and wide corridors, man, you got that for days. Coming to here, and you got this lovely this playroom, game room area, good size. Let's see if they got it locked. They got it locked. Oh, they converted this to a half bath. Very good use of what would have normally been attic space. I'm a fan. Moving on through here. Good size media room, I like it. But again, that's 2 media rooms on 55 footers now that have windows in them. And maybe, now let's just kind of break this down for y'all. If y'all are touring without me and we can't have this conversation direct, that may mean that there's a plan option for this house to make this a 6-bedroom. So instead of having the movie room, this would probably be converted into another bedroom, would be my guess. Right, so yeah, just things to kind of look at when you're out and about, especially if you're not with me. No shade, no tea. You can come with me, hit me up. I'll ride out with you. I'll come look at some houses with you anytime. If you're early on in the process, I think the most efficient use of your time is just to kind of hit the neighborhoods and see how you feel about it, see if you feel comfortable, see if you like how far you are away from your grocery store, how far away you are from the interstate, so on and so forth. But when it comes to money talks and contracts, all of that stuff that is important to you, incentives, deals, whatever we can get you, I've built relationships all over this place. Of the houses that we've gone to so far, I've worked with 2 of the sales counselors so far, and we've only been in our 3rd house. Lena, I haven't closed a deal with her, but I've probably brought a lot of people out here to Lena as well as Sarah. So there's a lot of people that I've worked with in this neighborhood already from other neighborhoods. And so again, I don't want to be the dead horse, but like if you come out and you start something solo, there's a high likelihood that you could get a little bit of a deal, but you wouldn't get everything that you're supposed to get if you would have just hit me up and let me kind of work my magic on the front end of it, right? And I just want to make sure at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you're taken care of. Everybody that's closed the house with me will tell you we have a specific talk when we first starting out, and it's basically that you are now my family, right? I look at you as though you're my family, same way I would look at you if you were my mom, dad, brother, sister. I'm gonna look at your money like it's my money. I'm gonna be open and honest with you about what I think about something, and I'm gonna put that in front of you, and you're gonna make the decision. At the end of the day, you're paying that bill. Don't come back to me. You paying that bill. All right, so I'm gonna give you that. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you are comfortable, whatever it is that you're gonna do, whether it's building, whether it's an inventory, whatever the builder is, I wanna make sure that you're comfortable, and I wanna make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, whether or not it's in this neighborhood, my neighborhood, Meridiana, anywhere in the whole Houston metro. I have built these relationships to make sure that I can get you a real number that makes sense for you. And if it doesn't, we'll keep searching until we find one that makes sense for you. Easiest way to do that is to give me a call, hit me up. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put the number on the screen right now. If you wanna talk to me, just say what's up, call me right now. Call me right now and just say what's up to me, and we'll make sure that we get you taken care of, whether you're 6 months out, a year out, 2 years out. I got people that closed this year that hit me up 3 years ago, right? So it's when the videos were 15 minutes long, now y'all are here watching me every weekend for an hour, and I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for that. But we've come a long way on this channel, and the point that I'm trying to make is I'm here for you wherever you are in your journey. No matter how far out you think you are, it's always time to book a call. I'll also put a QR code on the screen, or I'll give you a link underneath this video for the tech savvy people. But for the OGs, hit me with a text, hit me with a call. I'm down to be of assistance to you. But we got more of this house to see. Let's go check out this other little wing over here. Good size. Really, really good size. But this is what I was telling you earlier, right? That Jack and Jill. So this is what you're gonna see more times than not, especially on inventory. You're gonna see certain upgrades made, and then because they have so many beautiful plans at different footprints, what I have noticed, and I haven't had anyone specifically tell me this, but it's just an observation, and is that because they have so many beautiful plans that could potentially overlap, they really don't have an incentive to, how do I say this without sounding sketchy? Because I don't want it to sound like it's malicious intent at all. It's just more so like a strategy wise. So like in my neighborhood, for example, in Meridiana, they have 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 70, and 80 foot products. And so it would hurt the 60 and 70 foot section if they had a 55 foot section that did everything perfect in inventory, if that makes sense. So if you came into a 55 foot section, could save 150,000, get all the bedrooms, get all the baths, get all the stuff, all the half baths, get all the stuff, and cut out that extra 150,000, then that would start to hurt their 60 and 70 foot. So in this neighborhood, where I believe they have this 55 and maybe a 45 foot section, it would actually probably make sense for them to kind of swing more for the fences and give you more beds and half baths and everybody have their own en-suites, but that's just not the model that they do on inventory. They have a plan. If you sit down with them and you say, hey, this is what I want, this is how many beds and baths I want, they have a plan because they probably have the most plans in all of Houston. It's crazy how many plans Perry has because they have so many footprints in there in so many neighborhoods. But what you'll see oftentimes is they'll cut that corner and do a Jack and Jill when they have the room to be able to give everybody a full bed. They just don't do it. And that's usually because they have neighborhood overlaps where if they made this plan perfect, then there's almost no incentive to step up to their 60, 70, 80 foot products where you got to spend a little bit more money, okay? And you get all that stuff as kind of like a base. But yeah, this is a beautiful plan. I'm absolutely in love with this plan, man. I think this is a great showing. So of the stuff that we saw just now, I think that this is a beautiful showing, man. Beautiful gowns. So in terms of pricing, let me head down and get that info and we'll talk about all that. All right, yeah, shout out to Sarai's assistant for being in today and helping me out, giving me some info, just so we make sure that you guys have the latest and greatest info for the neighborhood. So things to note, the property tax rate over here is 3.16, 3.17. So that is actually a little bit lower than even my neighborhood of Meridiana, but the prices are a little bit higher over here. So everything's gonna be a trade-off, right? In terms of the HOA fees are also going to be a little bit higher over here. We have $1,550 for this neighborhood, which is a little bit higher than Meridiana has. You are going to have Johnson Development, so that is a home run of a developer. You're usually going to be tied to great schools. You're going to have great amenities. They're not usually going to do you dirty like some of the other developers will do in the metro. And so in terms of pricing for Perry, you're going to be in those high fives up to around 7 if you're just going super crazy. In terms of Highland, you're going to be in the high fives going to around 7 if you're going super crazy. And then Westin seems to be in that sweet spot where you're going to be in the 5s to about low 6 for the most part right there. In terms of school, you're going to be in Lamar Consolidated ISD, which is one of the top rated school districts on this side of the world for sure. So it's just one of those things that you're not really going to have to worry about if you're going to be out in an area like this. They are scheduled to have a on-site, I believe, elementary and middle school. I know for sure the elementary, I'll verify the middle school part. I do think that they are going to have both on-site, but I will verify that for you as well. And then it's just the stuff that you're going to expect from Johnson Development, right? You're going to have the lakes, the trails, you're going to have the fitness center, you're going to have pickleballs, you're going to have the event room, you're going to have all of that stuff that Johnson gives you when they have the caliber of builders like they do in a neighborhood like this. That is just hard to beat. But that is the video for the day. I think I'll save a couple of these for the next video so I can come out here and just spend some more time with y'all and just let y'all see what some of the stuff on the smaller side is doing before the video for the day. I think that I love what I saw. We focused on that sweet spot of where my clients tend to land, that 60 to 50-ish kind of width. I think that's a sweet spot for most neighborhoods in Houston where you're gonna get the absolute best bang for your buck. And I was excited to do it for y'all today. But if you had to pick one of these, whether it's the 60-foot, 1-story, or one of these 55-foot, 2 stories, which one would you go with?